Hello everyone, this is Nemesis here, and today I'll be doing a very special review for you guys. This time around I'll be reviewing not one, not two, but three Voyager Class Transformers figures. Voyager Class Classics Target exclusive, Ultra Magnus. The second one in the box is Classics Optimus Prime, Voyager Class. The third one is the all-new San Diego Comic-Con Transformers Universe Nemesis Prime. Okay, let's take a quick overview of the boxes here. We'll start with the Classics Voyager Class Optimus Prime. As you can see, it is a trapezoid in shape. It has Optimus Prime in the center with Transformers written across the top, robots in disguise. Down here we have Optimus Prime's face along with Autobot Optimus Prime, his name. And on this side it was kind of a cool feature where they had a flip over flap. As you can see, it says flip for robot mode. You just flip that over and you see his robot mode as promised. Flip it back down and you have his alt mode. And these boxes were a little big for the figures. You can fit at least two more primes in there. There's that much room inside. It's a little bit of a waste, but what can you do? The shape is a little odd as well, since they are kind of hard to pack and store. Let's move on to the side here. There's nothing much there other than another clear plastic window which is bent from the front. On the back you have a lot more stuff. You have Optimus Prime in both alt and robot modes. You have his bio, his stats, and other features and accessories that he has. Moving on from there, you have the other side, where you have the other figures that were available at the time. And you're back to the front again. Here is the top. And last but not least, the bottom, which has basically nothing interesting at all. So that's the Classics Voyager Optimus Prime packaging. Here is the packaging that came for the Voyager Class Ultra Magnus figure. As you can see, he was part of a 2-pack from Target. He came with Skywarp Deluxe Class figure. As you can also see, there is no flap like Optimus Prime has, and he's quite a bit larger in packaging than the Optimus Prime. Well, you can't really see it that well, but take my word for it. But you still have the Transformers, robots in disguise, Ultra Magnus versus Skywarp, battle for Autobot City, blah blah blah, Autobot and Decepticon symbol. Here's the side again with more figures available to purchase during the time that these were out. The back has the same kind of thing. You have the bios for each of them and the stats, as well as the accessories that they come with. And on this side you have yet even more figures that are available. And we go back to the front again. Here's the top portions of the figures that were in there. And the bottom, which again has absolutely nothing. So that's the packaging for Ultra Magnus / Skywarp. This is the new Universe line. As you can see, Nemesis Prime is packaged in the new Universe Voyager Class box. And of course it says Transformers. And the name Nemesis Prime with Disruptor Cannon, because you know, no bad guy can be without a Disruptor Cannon. It's Voyager Class, in case you weren't sure. Nice picture there. And if you're not sure if he's evil enough, he's got the glowing red eyes to give you that clue, as if the Decepticon symbols were not a big enough giveaway. A very nice looking packaging. Also has the bio in the back, his name, his stats, which I will post at the end of this video. A picture of his robot in alt mode. Very nice. It's got another smaller picture of him, which is the same as this guy here, just in a different angle. Very nicely done. This one, I'm fairly confident you can fit 3 of them in there. I mean, there's just so much room inside. There is a lot of room. With the way they angled him, he's like dead smack in the center. but there's a lot of empty space in this box. I'm not sounding like a tree hugger or anything, but it's kind of a waste of paper. Anyway, let's open him up and let's see what he's like. Haha, see? What'd I tell you? 3 in one box. That's how much room is in here. And that's with Nemesis Prime still attached right in the center there. So you probably can squeeze in 4. Anyway, moving on. So here he is right out of his plastic prison. And I must say, he looks fantastic. I like him more than the previous, I think it was Menasor. It was a Optimus Prime titanium repaint. I like this a lot more because he has a little bit of color here. He's not just black and silver. He has some things to break it up and make him look more interesting. It's a very nice dark grayish blue here, and it's got a little bit of silver to match the cab silver. He has this great looking turquoise. It's not that nasty all-spark blue or anything like that. It's a really nice color for headlights. And he has the same design on the sides and the top as the Classics Optimus Prime, as you can see. And his smokestacks are not painted like Prime's are. He has the same stacks as Ultra Magnus. His wheels are also not painted the same color. Prime's are a silver. Ultra Magnus is a copper color, copper goldish color. And his are basically, they're not black, but they're a really dark coppery color. Really deep. They're not black. So he does have a lot of elements on him that really bring out some interesting detail. And unlike poor Prime here, who has no logos on the sides except for the rub sign, which is nice, but I kind of wish he had an Autobot symbol on each side, or at least on one side of him. This one lets you know what side he's on without even hiding it. And he does have that, which is very nice. He does not have the rub sign though, which frankly I think none of the Universe figures have them. Come to think of it, which I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me either way. I like them, but they're not a necessity. And as far as repaints go, I'm not a big repaint guy. I won't buy every single repaint out there, but I am a huge fan of this mold. I love the way they look. I love the way Prime looks. I love the way Ultra Magnus looks in both cab and robot mode, and I like the way they transform. I like the way they feel even. They're really sturdy figures. They're not flimsy in any way, and they're extremely posable, very articulate, and are really nice looking. So I had no problems with buying the Nemesis Prime version, and that is coming from me, someone who has very little knowledge, if any, of Nemesis Prime. I missed those years, I guess, where this character came about, and I'm not sure where he started from. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how Nemesis Prime started out early on in Transformers, other than what it says in the back of the box. From what I have read, he's a very fascinating character and almost a tortured soul. I mean, he really is a tormented soul, and he's a lost soul, if that's the best way I can put it. His spark has been tortured, and he's become a really... He's no longer what he used to be. The only thing he knows is to inflict pain and torture upon others and take out anyone, anywhere, including other Decepticons. So he's a very dangerous creature for both sides. So there he is, very nice, very good looking alt mode. Okay, now on to the transformation. One thing I'd like to point out real quick though is he looks a little bit shinier than the Optimus Prime does. Prime is shiny, but he looks just a little bit more glossy, in case you were wondering. First thing you do, basically, it transforms the same way as Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus. You pull these panels back, pull this piece down, take off the stacks, take off the wind vane, form his feet, form his knee pads, take the front, pull him away from the front of the cab, and you work out the arms like so, just like that. That like so expression is so addicting. And basically the next step is you're going to take the fists and you're going to fold them out just like Prime. And these panels here are going to fold back around his arms. Oops, this one, that's what I want. You're going to turn this one back and around like that. And this one and back. And you're going to make sure that these are out of the way here so that his waist can be rotated. Yeah, it doesn't matter how, just as long as they're out of the way. Next step is to take the upper portion, make sure that is out of the way here, lift his head up, turn it around, take his upper portion, turn it a complete 180, just like that. Take his front wheels, push them up and in. I'm going to push this up. He's brand spanking new, so he's a little tight. Going to twist this around so that you have the turquoise and the Decepticon symbol facing forward. And same thing for the other side. Just twist and twist, bend, twist, give him a little stance there, separate the legs, bring the camera up a little bit, and there you have Nemesis Prime in his robot form. Now what's cool about Nemesis Prime, Optimus Prime, and Ultra Magnus is that his truck parts also become his weapons. With Optimus Prime, what I like to do is I like to unfold all the pieces of his blaster. That way he has this bottom piece hanging down, which is a nice contrast to the silver. With Ultra Magnus, I don't have that bottom piece down. That way his gun looks a little bit smaller, even though it's pretty much the same thing. Also, I usually keep the other weapon on their backs. I don't normally use that weapon. I just don't think it looks as good. It is a large cannon and it's probably his most powerful of the two weapons, but it's just my personal taste. With Nemesis Prime here, since he does have Optimus Prime's memories and is based off of Optimus Prime, I'm going to make his weapon like Optimus Prime's weapon, where I will fold these out in order to make that lower section, and of course pull these out and fold them together. That way you have that lower section, which resembles Prime's gun, but it's all black, so that's good enough. His shield piece I will do for you for Nemesis Prime. Basically transforms the same way as Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus's shield piece. since they are essentially the same. You fold those in half, bring this piece around, and you take the tip of the gun. Mine's real tight because it's brand spanking new, and that forms his cannon. Bring those a little closer together. So like the Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus, he does also come with two guns. I'll put this in this hand, and I'll put this on this hand, if he'll take it. There it goes. So there he is with his weapons attached. So as for comparison, here is Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime. As you can see, all three versions are painted completely different from one another, even though they're the same mold. But they look different enough to get away with being different characters. Now there is a fourth, the BotCom exclusive, where you have the evil Optimus Prime. I don't have that one, but I'm perfectly content with these three right here. And in all honesty, I like this black one better than the purple one. Now, for articulation, we'll remove his weapons so that you can see it better. And in this case, this will apply to both Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus. Is very good on this figure. His arms can move straight out, so can his legs. And he did not qualify for the Olympics because he was considered too evil to participate. His legs can move straight forward and almost straight back. Bends at the knee. Also turns all the way around at the knee. He has some foot movement due to his transformation. And he can actually have all kinds of positions in between at the upper portion of the leg. He has two waist movements. He can move at the lower waist. It helps if you move this out of the way a little bit, and that would free it up a little bit to where he can go all the way around. Almost. It gets a little tangled up there, but he can do it. There it goes, his leg got in the way. But he goes all the way around 360 at the lower portion. He has upper body movement given his transformation. He can go all the way around. His arms can, at the shoulder, can go all the way around. His elbow can go back and forward and twist all the way around. His fists do not move, and his head can look straight forward and look down like he's sad or he's thinking about something, but not up. But he can, however, move 360 degrees all the way around. So that's his articulation. And pardon me while I get him back together. Very good articulation. You can put in a lot of poses in this guy. You can make him do some serious kicking action. I mean, that's not half bad. That's pretty impressive. One thing to note about this guy is that his light piping is pretty unique. Even though his eyes look like they are a reddish color, they're actually just painted on. In the back, you see he has the same light piping clear blue plate as the regular Voyager Class Optimus Prime has. However, even though it doesn't shine through during natural light, if you put a light through it, it glows a kind of purple, as you can see there. Really interesting. And there's a little bit of a red there in some cases. And it looks good that way. It really looks menacing. And he has a pretty cool turquoise colors on his shoulders and head crest and in other areas such as his knees and other parts of his body. And I like that color a lot more than the horrible Allspark blue. For comparison, here is Optimus Prime. Here are his eyes lit up. It's a really cool blue color there. And for Ultra Magnus, his is pretty interesting as well because his eyes are also blue, but they're a lighter shade, which makes them glow in natural light a lot better than Optimus Prime's. But here he is with a light shining through it. And as you can see, it's a lighter blue. Very cool. And I love that feature on these figures. So there you have it. As you probably already know, I'm not the kind of person that would buy repaints after repaints. However, I love this design very much. I think it's one of the best primes ever made, and this color scheme just really is very cool. It's a very neat idea, and I just had to pick this one up. If you can find him and you like the Optimus Prime design for the Classics line, he is a pretty cool figure, and he's very shiny. This black is very cool. I like it. Some people call him Scourge, that he looks more like Scourge than he does Nemesis Prime, and some people, I actually had a couple say that he looks like Motormaster in a way. Now, I don't know too much about Motormaster in his robot form, but I can see that in his alt form. But to me, he's Nemesis Prime, despite not having the red windshield, which I don't mind, by the way. The red windshield stands out too much and doesn't really fit in the figure as well as it would with this color scheme. The Classics line is an awesome series of toys. The Universe line is another awesome series. You'll find a lot of figures within the Universe line that are a continuation of the Classics line. Nemesis Prime can be considered as such. So can characters such as this Sunstreaker here, which in my opinion is the finest deluxe figure so far made in the Classics and Universe line. But we'll talk about him later. Size comparison between these three, obviously they're the same size. Prime does not have the Autobot symbols on his shoulders as he should, but I think that's not a big problem since repro labels may have some Autobot symbols that would be small enough to fit comfortably on each shoulder, or at least one, depending on your choice. Or you can get the Henkei version, which already has it on there. This one as well, he has, however, the Autobot symbols. I like this Ultra Magnus, to be honest with you. Some people say, well, he's not an original mold like he should be, and, you know, a Prime clone. Well, that may be so. Okay, I can give you that. But at the same time, if you remember the G1 Ultra Magnus, in his vehicle form, he did in fact have a white cab. And before you connected him to his trailer part, which formed his body armor, he really was just a white cab. You know, there's nothing wrong with the way he looks the way he is right now, and I actually like it. I like it a lot. There is going to be available, if not already, the trailer, which can be assembled to form his armor, that will make him look like the G1 Ultra Magnus. So you'll get the best of both worlds in the end. So he's really cool. He's a really nice figure. Both of them. All three of them are. And I just love it because these guys are just plain fun. You know, I can't put these down. I spend more time fiddling with these than I do in a lot of the other newer Transformers that I have. That includes Prime, of course. And I like the way he looks. My only complaints, however, for these figures would be their size. They're a little bit tiny, not by much, but just a small fraction too small for a Voyager Class figure. I would have liked them to be a little bit taller. For example, that would be, let's put the movie Voyager Optimus Prime here. I would have liked these guys to be his height as a Voyager. I think that would have been simply perfect for the Voyager Classics Optimus Prime in terms of size, because when you put a deluxe class figure like Sunstreaker here, who is so far the tallest of the Universe line, you can see that he is pretty tall compared to Optimus Prime, or Ultra Magnus here, excuse me. To me, Optimus Prime should be a little taller than that, and Voyager Class Optimus Prime fits that bill pretty well in comparison. And as you can see, it would have been nice if the head was a little bit bigger. I'm not talking about a lot, I'm talking about a small fraction larger, just a tiny bit bigger. It seems like it's a little bit too small, and we're talking like a very small amount here, but it's enough. When you put this guy next to, say, this guy, you can see that his face is a little bit bigger than his face. Even though he has a face plate, you can still tell where his face would be. I'm not sure if I can get a better angle on that. But you see that? Now, Sunstreaker's head and face is well proportioned to his body, whereas Ultra Magnus's, Optimus Prime's, and Nemesis Prime's heads are a little bit on the small side. I don't know. It may be an optical illusion, but that's just something that seems to be bugging me for some reason. So here we go with the star of the show again here. Very nice figures indeed. And I'm going to put Sunstreaker next to him as a size comparison. As another Universe figure, we will put in a Voyager size, the brand new drop shot from the new Universe line. And as you can see, he is a Voyager class, and he's just a small bit taller than the Optimus Prime, Nemesis Prime, Ultra Magnus robot form. Not by much, but enough to notice the difference. Do I recommend this guy? Well, it all depends on whether or not you like the Optimus Prime and or the Ultra Magnus molds. If you like those, this guy will not disappoint. If you like black and silver, and you like the idea of a villain version, then this guy again will not disappoint. And I myself, who knows very little from the beginning of Nemesis Prime and his history, and have purchased him, I have to say I'm pretty happy with him. I like him a lot. And if you can get your hands on one, more power to you. Scoring wise, on his vehicle mode, I give him a 9 out of 10. There's some details in there that I wish they kind of changed. They're very minor, and I wish he was just a small bit bigger as a rig. Still a flat nose, but just physically a little bit larger. Transformation, I give that a 10 out of 10. I love the way he transforms. I don't care what people say about the so-called kibble on his arms here. I don't mind it so much at all. Some pieces have to go somewhere, and they're not that invasive. Robot mode, I give him a 9 out of 10. The only faults I can find for him are that, again, his size is just a tiny bit too small in terms of height, and his head seems just a little bit too small. I mean, we're talking fractions and fractions and fractions of small amounts here, but enough to notice, at least to me. But otherwise, a really nice figure, really well articulated, really good looking, and a very nice display piece, and durable enough to take some knocks. And I do recommend the Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus figures as well, since they are just as good in articulation and looks as Nemesis Prime is. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.